Coming in. Hi, and welcome to another video. So it's another nice day. Just going to do a bit more training with my dog on an actual issue that I do have. So this is not me doing a training video to show off my dog. This is actually something that I do need to work on, and it's sort of protection dog recall. And the reason protection dog recall is so important is that if your dog is hurtling towards someone and you want him to stop, you should be able to bring him back straight away. With my dog, I know that if he has his mind set on something, that it's pretty hard for me to stop him and get him to come back. I might be able to stop him from biting someone, but I can't stop him at the moment going all the way up to the person. And as you remember from my video in regards to the dog napping, that if he bolts up and smashes into the fence and the person feels threatened, then obviously I'm in trouble for that. So this is going to be me just doing a bit of training with him, and we're going to talk through some different bits. And my SIA question for this video is in the comments below, can you name one type of patrol? There's 4 of them, but can you name one type of patrol that you do? Down in the comments, let me know. One. So general recall. My general recall for my dog's pretty good. So, come. So the general recall is pretty good. Now, my issue is that if he runs off, can I get him to stop, ignore whatever it is that he's going for, and then come back to me? That is the barrier that I need to overcome with him, is that if he decides something over there is more important than me, that I manage to stop him and get him to come back to me. So what I'm going to use for this is his ball. So for an example of the issue that I'm telling you about, down. Wait, leave it, leave it. Okay, no! So that's just a small example. So I had his ball, told him to leave it, he's perfectly fine with that. But once I tell him to go, and he's like, right, I've got to go and get that ball, he kind of goes deaf. So for me saying no, it should be him to go, oh no, I'm not meant to be doing that, and should then look to me and say, well, what do you want me to do? So the way in which I'm going to try and combat that to start off with is I'm just going to have him on a lead, and I'll tell him to go, and then what I'll do is I'll give him a no command, and if he doesn't do it, then obviously I will stop him from getting to the ball and say, no, come back. Leave it. Leave it. No, leave it. Leave it. Good boy. Okay. 6. Okay. No. Here. Okay. Okay, go on then. Go on then. No. Boy, leave it. Good boy. Go on then. No. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Go on then. Go on then. No. Wait. I can tell you now that I was not expecting that. So now I've done it once, and as he went, obviously I caught him, and he'd come back round. He was like, oh, what the hell's that? And then the second and third time that I said, go on then, he kind of went, and he went, oh, shall I, shan't I? And then I managed to stop him once, get him to come back. And then obviously the last time he was like, can I? And then I said, yeah, go on. And then I couldn't stop him a second time. So I'm really happy with that, and I can promise you this is not for YouTube. Like, this is not a brag about how good my dog is. I'm generally very happy about that. So what I'm going to try and do now is I've got a long lead. So actually I'm going to put the ball out further, and I'm going to let him get a bit further before I get him to call him back. And it's important with this that you do it, you throw the ball 10 times and one day you call him back on the 5th, the next day you call him back on the 8th, next day you call him back on the 3rd, so that he, because as you saw, I'd done it first time, and then when I sent him off the second time, he was like, hold on, he's going to call me back. And if you don't, then obviously they go and get it. So you have to make sure, if you want to know whether your dog will definitely do it, is to do it completely at random every time you do it. Maybe next time you do it 15 times, and on the 13th one you call him back. So this is just a standard 5 metre long lead that I've got out of Pet's corner, round the corner from where I am. Now, the reason that I have brass on my lead is because it's very strong. This one is just a silver. I mean, it should take the weight of him, or like the power of him, but there's a good chance this might snap. So if you're going into this, make sure that your attachments, try and get them brass, because they're a lot stronger than these like silver metals. There's less chance of it breaking, and especially with the power of these dogs. If your dog lunges at someone, the last thing you want is for your clip to break. The same as their D-rings on their collars. The last thing you want is that to break, and then all of a sudden your dog's free. So hopefully this will take his power. So what I'm going to do is, just first couple, is I'm just going to throw him, let him go and get it, come back, and then maybe the 4th one I'll get him to try and stop him. Like, leave. Go on then. Go get it. Go on, get it. Good boy. And as you notice, I've got this lead in my hand all the time, so that he has an idea that I do actually have hold of him. See what happens. Fetch. So you see that one? He was a little bit more confident that I wasn't going to call him back. So the first one, he's like, hold on, he's going to call me back here, and I haven't. So the second one, he's just gone, thinking he's not going to call me back. Hip. Fetch. Good boy. And on this next one, I'll have I'm going to have the lead in my hand, and I'm going to try and stop him. Good. Yep. Leave it. Fetch. Got it. Leave it. Come on. Good boy. Good leave. Down. Good. Fetch. Good. Get it in. Leave it. Come on, leave it. Come. Yes. Down. Ready? Fetch. So there's a bit of hesitancy. There's a little bit of, oh, what do I do? But I'm happy that I'm able to stop him to a certain degree. I wouldn't say that he's got his mind totally on wanting the ball, but I do know that he actually does want it, but he's not quite at that stage where he's like, I've got to have the ball. Fetch! Leave it! Fetch! Leave it! No! Leave it! Good boy! Yeah! You good boy! Fetch! Got it! Leave it! Come on, leave it! Yes! Ready? Fetch! Good boy! Good boy! Right, so I'm just going to try that a couple more times and just see if I can do this without having to hold on to the lead. See if I can get him to stop without actually having hold of the lead. I think if I do that, I'll call that a success, and I'll carry on this training. I'm not saying that I'm going to conquer this all in this video, but this is kind of what I'm going to work on in order to try and get past the problem that I'm having with him. And hopefully, once we can do it, and we carry on the training, we'll be good to go. Down. Leave. Okay. Fetch. Fetch. No! No! Oh, good boy! Go on in. Up. Close. But as you can see, we're making strides into this, and it's not gonna happen overnight. But I'm happy that there's a couple of times that he's thinking maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but there's a couple of times where I've been able to stop him without having the lead in my hand, been able to stop him and got him to come back to me. So the next part of the recall that I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a scenario. So it sounds like it would never happen, but you never know if it actually would. So I'm going to go and put my dog over there. I'm going to call him to me, and as I call him to me, all of a sudden a car is going to come hurtling across in between the two of us. I see the car, and I want to stop him from getting close enough. So I'm going to say that the car is going to be halfway between the grass and the mud patch over there. So I'm going to put him over there, and then I'm going to try and stop him before he gets about halfway. In fact, I'm going to put this where I want him to stop before. Right, so the scenario is I'm going to recall him and get him down before he gets to that box, because if he goes past that box, he'll get run over by a car. Go! Down! Down! Come! Good boy! So you can see how important that would be if I had him hurtling towards me and I needed to down him before he got to that box, because there's a car that's going to whip across us. You can see how important that would be. If I couldn't, there's a chance that he would run into the way of the moving vehicle, the traffic, maybe even a person on a bike. So this is actually very important that you, from distance, would be able to just stop him and down him. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be instant, but what I'm saying is if I can get the call in early enough, I can stop him before he gets to where that is. And again with this, mix it up. Don't do it every time. Mix it up a few times so that he's not expecting it. Come! Good boy. Down. So mix it up a few times so he's not expecting it every time. And like I say, every maybe 3 or 4 or 6, just down him and stop him. Try and stop him dead if you can. Obviously, if the dog's running, he's not going to stop dead. He might take a few steps and then down him. So I'll do a few more where I'll get him to come to me, and then I'll down him on one, maybe in like 2 or 3 times. Come. Good boy, well done. Oh my god. No. Do it properly. One of the most important things with this, if they do it wrong, make them do it again. And then they learn that that's where they have to stay. Come! Good boy, what's this? Go on in. Good boy, good catch. No! Get back. No, get back. Come! Down! Down! Come. Good boy. Yes, good boy. So there's 3 types of recall. Like I say, there's obviously the recall to come back to you. There's a recall where you want to be able to stop them from going to somewhere or doing something and be able to stop them and get them to come back. For me, that's a lot of work in progress, but I think we made the first steps today. If I continue with that over the next few days, next week, next month, I think we'll start making some real progress in it. And then the last one is a recall, but being able to stop them at any point that you want to. So before he gets to that box, being able to stop them and get them to down or get them to do whatever it is that you need. So my answer to my SIA question is I asked you to name a patrol. So there's 4 types of patrol. The first one is the first or initial patrol. So that would be the one that when you turn up to site, it'll be your first or your initial patrol. So you would turn up and you would do a patrol of the area just to see if anything's changed, see for any changes from the night before, from the day before, and just do that generally. Now, with dog handlers, some people say that you shouldn't do that first one with your dog. My trainer says that you shouldn't do the first one with the dog because there could be some fresh glass that your dog walks over. There could be kind of issues. But I think it kind of depends where you're working, because if you go out and do your first or initial patrol without the dog and you get attacked, then people just turn around and say, well, why didn't you have the dog? So the first or initial patrol is the first one. And the second is routine or random patrols. So obviously a routine patrol would be like every hour on the hour you're going to go and do this route, and that is your patrol. Random is more what I do and what other people do. So a random is I could be out there at any point. I could be out there for any amount of time. There is no routine to it. So one time I might go out and do a 10-minute patrol, and then I'll come back in and I'll be there for a length of time that I decide. And then the next time I could be out there for over an hour and just sitting there listening, watching, see what's going on. So I could be there 10 minutes, could be an hour. And the reason that I do random rather than routine is that if people are watching you and they see that you're in a routine, they know, okay, so on the hour he goes and does that, it takes him 10 minutes, and I know I've got 50 minutes to do for him not to be in this area that I can go and do that stuff. So random is the most important rather than routine, but it all depends on what your assignment instructions say and what the client wants. The third one is final patrols. So for me, a final patrol would be for me before I finish the shift to go and do a final patrol of the area, make sure everything is how I found it, make sure that there's no new holes in fences, obviously everything that I was looking after is still there, make sure that I haven't missed any dog mess, because it's quite easy at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing whatever and I've missed him going to the toilet and leaving that in the site, so I've made sure that there's no dog mess anywhere the places I've been, and just make sure that the site is ready for the clients to turn up and that you haven't missed anything or there's nothing you need to report. And the last one is a snap patrol. So a snap patrol would be you get radioed through, as a dog handler you get radioed through saying there's an issue here, dog handlers get to this area, we need to do a routine check. So let's say I'm at a festival and I'm sitting in my van, comes through over the radio, there's been people jumping over a fence line, need to get there as quick as possible. So then obviously me and the dog get out of the van, we'll get to that area as quick as we can, and we'll do a patrol of that area, make sure there's no holes in fences, make sure there's no people hiding in bushes. So that, for me, that's a snap patrol. It could happen any time, and you have to obviously snap into it and go and do your patrol. So I hope you like this video, I hope you've got something out of it. Like I say, this is no boasting from me, because this is actually something that I'm trying to work on with him. He's obviously good and he has good obedience on his recall, but there's just that thing that if he makes his mind up, right, I'm going for that ball, there's nothing I can do that would stop him. I could blow a bomb up over there and he'll go and get the ball and then go and find out what's going on. And obviously if that's a person that he decides to bite, then that becomes an issue. Now I know I can stop him biting someone, but I can't stop him confronting the person. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like I say, I do weekly videos, they'll be out every Saturday. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the weather this week, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching, see you later, bye.